This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition. Today we have a Lennox package unit that the customer says is not working. So, also got a couple guys here with me. We're going to do their rooftop maintenance at the same time, but we got to knock out the service call that I'm going to focus on. This unit has a core controller. So we're going to log into the core. Looks like something's going on. Looks like there's some weird error message on the drive, EPUE. So we'll have to look into that. This is a fairly new unit. It says 125 on the LED, error 125. So we're going to log into core. We just started this up 7/30/24. So it's a newer unit. Look at this. There's a refrigerant leak. There's oil all on this. Lines in here somewhere. Something's up. Something happened here. I don't know what. There's a refrigerant leak. Looks like, oh, it's back here. All up in here. Sorry. All up in here, there's a bunch of oil back there. So that looks like a problem. That would be on the first stage. So don't know if that's our problem or another problem, but I'll get hooked up to core and we'll see what kind of errors we have. So this is a newer Lennox core unit. So what we're gonna do here is look for the Lennox core app. Core service. You're gonna hit next. What we're gonna do right here is hit pair, hold it down, like 5 seconds I think, and then let it go, and it flashes blue. Then right here, it shows up on the screen. You hit that, and then we're connected. Finish. All right, and we have an active alert, so we're gonna hit this. VFD shutdown. So that was the problem. The VFD shut down for some strange reason. Don't know why. We need to get to the bottom of that. So it looks like we've got a EPUE error on here, so I need to look into the information. I've got the manuals and stuff all right here, and I need to see what that's about. All right, I have run into problems like this before, and this one baffles me. I'm gonna call Lennox tech support just to confirm, but the Modbus wiring, the communication wiring from the core board to the VFD looks to be wrong to me. But this unit has been operating for over a year, or just about a year. So that's what's crazy, or just under a year essentially, because it is July 10th. So we're just about a year it's been operating and we've never had this problem before. We're getting a communication problem, so or I should say a VFD shutdown. And if you click on it, I believe belt or blower, oh, it says VFD fault. Okay, that's right, it wasn't a communication one. So we might have a problem with the VFD, but my first thing to check, this is where I was going, is the communication wiring is incorrect. Okay, and I looked at their other unit that's also operating, and the communication wiring from this unit to that VFD is incorrect. Now, whether or not that's the problem, that's something that I'm checking because I know of a known problem. So I actually have the Modbus wiring instructions because we've gone through this before, and if I'm understanding these instructions correctly, these connections are on the wrong ports right here, and they're mixed up. Now, I don't know if that's the only problem here, but that is one thing that I'm noticing. So I am going to call tech support just to confirm, but I do believe that everything is wired incorrectly as far as the Modbus wiring. So I went ahead and wrote everything down for tech support's sake, and got it right there. This is the existing unit, right? And according to the instructions, and also according to this other unit that also has core right next to me, this one is wired the way it should be, right? So the J411, let's see, no, J412 is going to the J412 on this one, and that's not what's happening on the other one. So that's something we're gonna look into. I'm gonna call tech support right now and confirm my suspicion that the Modbus wiring is incorrect. We'll correct that, and then we'll proceed further with the VFD overload that we have here. Now, VFD overload could be a lot of things. It could have to do with this, or it could have to do with an incorrect setting in the VFD, or a true overload. They have been having rooftop surveys, so sometimes depending on how the overload's set, if someone has the door open for an extended period of time, that can cause an overload situation. So there's all kinds of ideas, but as of now, this unit doesn't seem to be having an issue. The blower spins. I'm not going to stick my hand in there right now because I have the unit on and I don't want to adjust it, but blower spins, we're good on that. So we're going to call Lennox tech support, confirm my suspicion about the VFD wiring. Look at this wire right there, or this, look at this, rubbing out. That's good looking. That seems like a problem. This is a humiditrol, and the restaurant didn't need a humiditrol, so we actually don't even have the humiditrol sensor hooked up. They just took the unit because it's what they had. Yeah, there's some sketchy looking stuff in there. But all right, well, let's call Lennox tech support and talk to them. So originally I see VFD overload in the core app, but when you look up the error code on the drive, it's communication loss. So that's where I was thinking. I kind of had a brain fart for a moment. So I'm currently on hold with Lennox to potentially get to the bottom of this, but I truly believe that the COM wiring or the Modbus wiring is incorrect. If it is though, and that's the problem, it baffles me as to why this lasted a year and why all of a sudden, but who knows? We'll see. I'm just waiting for them to answer. Well, I'm still on hold with Lennox and they're not answering. So I went ahead and switched it the way that I think it should be. We're gonna fire it up and see what happens here. It's in the boot mode right now. I went ahead and did COM on the first one to COM on the first one, and then this guy right here is going into the second one, and then it comes out this second one and goes to the VFD. I believe that's the correct wiring setup. So I'm waiting for Lennox. I'm still on hold on the other line, waiting for them to come back, but we're gonna start this guy up and hope it all works like it's supposed to. Interesting, so it's still having a 129 error, but we're not up on the EPUE anymore on this. So again, I'm just waiting for Lennox. It didn't even try to start, so there's no reason. I'm gonna pull this off, make sure, reestablish this connection, make sure everything's good. Well, that is frustrating to say the least. Lennox is not answering, and then while I was on hold for the last half hour or whatever it was, it said they're going to lunch now. And then it won't let me leave my phone number anymore, which before it was letting me leave my phone number. I tried calling back again, same thing, it won't let me leave my phone number for a call back. So here's where we're at. I'm pretty confident that the wiring was incorrect on that. Turned off power, corrected what I think to be the correct wiring. The error went away on the VFD, but the unit is still shut down on a VFD error. I don't understand why. So I'm gonna power cycle it again. See what happens here. I'm gonna double check the wiring, make sure that it is the way that I think it should be. So coming from this guy, let's make sure from that guy is wire number 1. I traced them already. Then wire number 1 is going to the left ignition board, this one. Forget the wire, the numbers up here, that was the original wiring. Then we have the jumper wire going from this board to this board on this terminal, yeah, the first terminal. And then coming out of this terminal is going back up to the VFD. So I think we're correct. I'm gonna go verify at this unit. That's how this one's wired. So from the board is 1, comes in on 1, goes here, then comes out on 2, goes to the first one, then comes out on this one and goes to the VFD. So that's how this unit's wired. So this one over here It should have been enough time for it to power cycle and reset any errors. So let's turn it back on. Wait, it's off right now. Let's spin the blower just to make sure. Nothing's stuck, nothing's funky. Don't see any burnt wires. No issues with the pulleys. Belt's nice and snug, not too tight. Wiring looks good. I don't see any issues here. Okay, so this guy should start. Close that. We're gonna turn on power now. We'll have to reconnect to the core controller. Tablet's not too hot yet. You gotta watch how these tablets get really hot. So we gotta wait for it to go through boot mode. So it's in boot mode, it'll do a countdown, then this light will turn green, and then you know it's safe to pair it. So we're gonna give it a second and I'll come back. While I was waiting, I went in and sprayed Big Blue all over these joints, all right in here. And I'm not picking up any leaks. So I don't know if that was just like residual oil or something. I mean, I hit everything in here and I don't see anything. So we'll check it when we're done. We'll check pressures on the unit. Okay, at this point, we're gonna go ahead. We got a green light. Hold this down for 5 seconds. Let go, should flash blue. We come over here, dining AC, and we're connected. Or it's connecting. There we go, we're in now, okay? Finish. We're still showing an active alert of a VFD shutdown. But that says 951. That's an old alert. It should have reset. See, we got error 129 again. Why do we have error 129 when there's no error? Everything seems to be wired right. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna power it down while we're waiting for Lennox, because they're at lunch and I can't get a hold of them. Power down, we're gonna give it a second. Let everything turn off. Makes you wonder why they make it so easy to bypass the VFD. It's almost like it's meant to be bypassed. So we're gonna plug these two in, and then we're gonna start the unit up and see if the blower motor runs okay. I'm pretty confident it will. It makes me wonder if there's a problem in the drive or something. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, please don't blow up. Right over here. Indoor blower started right up. Let's make sure it's going in the right direction. Blower's going in the right direction. Gonna give it a second to go through its boot setup, then we'll pair it again and we'll check the unit out with the VFD bypassed and check all other operations, make sure everything's good. According to the data plate, the evaporator fan motor can run 16.7 amps. What is in amp? I've never seen that before. What is in amp? That's weird. That is an odd one. Let's check something real quick. See it on the motor? I'll have to get in there and get a picture of the motor. I want to see what the motor nameplate says. But if that's correct, we're fine because we're only running 11 amps on the evaporator motor right now. But I'm gonna double check. Well, that's very interesting. We're still off on alarm. I just connected again. It's still registering that there is an alarm on this guy. I've never had an issue resetting the alarms on this. I've only ever just power cycled it. So what the heck is going on that's causing this guy to show that error? Maybe the wiring's not right. Maybe it's still messed up. Gosh darn it. Where's Lennox at, man? It's getting hot in this building. Customers are going to be in there in an hour. And they're just going to be getting back from lunch. What the heck is going on? Usually when you bypass these things, problem solved, but it doesn't seem to be the case here. There's some weird bugs in this. So it's been off for, I don't know, 20 minutes. And we were still reading that error. I just hooked everything back up, hooked the drive back up, and now we're not getting an error anymore. The drive's running, 60 hertz, blower's running, the unit's getting ready to start up. We're waiting for our call for Y1 and Y2. Currently, right now, we only have a call for G and occupied. So we're waiting for this unit to start up. I'm thinking that there was just some wackiness because those were set up wrong. So we're gonna wait for this guy to start up and then make sure everything else is working properly. But it was just a matter of like letting it power down for a while or something. I don't know. It's really bizarre. We've run into all kinds of quirks with these Lennox units where from the factory, and when you call tech support, I still haven't gotten a hold of tech support because they're still on lunch, but when you call tech support, the first thing he asks you is review this, because we've gone through this multiple times where this wiring is incorrect from the factory. The irony is that this unit has been operating for almost a year, and the errors just happened a week ago, or less than a week ago. And then, so there's 2 errors in the unit, and it's both from the first one, which was a couple days ago or a week ago, and then today. But now we're not showing any active errors. Go figure, so bizarre. Right, I am all probed up with my job link probes. I've got Measure Quick, the system profiled. First stage is not looking that bad. Superheat's a little bit low, but subcooling's where I'd expect it to be. Mind you, I even use my electronic leak detector to where I saw the oil. I'm not picking anything up over here. As far as this goes, subcooling, they don't give you a liquid port, so I'm using discharge pressure. But I mean, it's a little bit on the low side, but nothing crazy. I mean, superheat on second stage, a little bit higher. Subcooling a little bit higher. Third stage is showing really high subcooling. Well, not really high, but much higher. But third stage also gets more outside air. We are pulling some outside air, which is going to raise the evaporator temperature, which is going to raise discharge, which is going to affect everything. But I mean, all of them are relatively close. I'm not seeing anything crazy here. Temp split looks great. Airflow looks good. Delivered capacity looks correct. I don't see anything wrong refrigeration wise with this unit, other than seeing that trace of oil, but I'm not picking up any leaks with the soap bubbles or the electronic leak detector. So I don't know. The only thing I could think of was just the wiring, for some reason, just now started to become a problem for this unit. Other than that, I'm not seeing any issues with the blower. It's not overloaded. Everything seems fine. So yeah, that's going to be it on this one. We're just going to tell them to keep an eye on it. I never got a hold of Lennox, but I don't know anything else that would cause that issue besides the communication problems when I know the comm cables weren't hooked up right. I don't know why it took so long for it to acknowledge that it was reset, but who knows. Other than that, this unit's doing everything that it can. We're currently cleaning all their other units. We already did this one. Guys are doing the maintenance today. So we're rinsing this one. This is their kitchen. Cleaning it from the inside out. Vacuuming out the blower section over here. We found that this vacuum is actually really nice on PM work because you're able to get in here, pull all the gunk out of the drain pan, you know, everything. This is a brand new unit. This unit's only 6 months old. So a little bit of dust in here, but nothing crazy. So we're just wrapping it up. We're gonna put the filters back in and probably be done with the ACs here in a few minutes. We've already rinsed off the walk-ins. Basically, we're doing a coil cleaning. We still got to get to this unit, but it's not too bad. There's a little bit of lint and stuff in the condenser. We'll do that one. But yeah, everything's looking good. So the other thing too, when you're doing these condensers, always make sure that you blow that water out, because look, all that, and it doesn't look like anything. It's like held in there, surface tension or something like that. So we're going to turn the vacuum around before we're done and blow from the inside out, blow most of the water out, vacuum it out, whatever you got to do. But this is going good. And on the plus side, the restaurant has hot water access, so we're able to use water from the water heater right up here. So it's really nice to clean these things. Yeah, that's it. I don't know what else is going on with this AC. Subcooling numbers are a little high on the second and third stage, but I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. As I'm packing the unit up, last thing that I did was I go into the alarm history and I cleared the history, so there's nothing left. Potentially next time if we come back and we see new stuff, then we know we still have an issue. We don't know exactly why it took so long for them or the board to realize that the wiring was incorrect. I don't understand why, and I don't understand why it took so long to reset, but once I corrected it, gave it time, it's running fine. I've gone through test mode and everything. So put all the caps back on. This unit's doing everything it can. We're gonna go ahead and take everything off and then go ahead and clean it real quick. Just give it a quick rinse. I don't even think it's gonna need cleaner. Belts, I already checked those. Those are tight, so all is well. I usually have pretty good luck with Lennox, especially since I'm usually using the national accounts tech support line, but for some reason today, it just didn't work out. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but regardless, I've had a lot of experience with them, and I kind of already had a hunch when I saw that communication problem with the VFD. And I just went through past emails because I had them email me that Modbus part numbers and wiring diagram. It's not like a great wiring diagram, but if you follow it enough and stare at it long enough, you can see that it does tell you where the wires get plugged in. And then luckily I had that other unit, but I still don't understand why now. Like, why a year later did it all of a sudden become a comm problem? I don't know. Regardless, we're going to tell them to keep an eye on it. Maybe we'll have another problem with it, but, you know, I can only do what I can do, especially if they're not answering their phone, right? So we just fixed the wiring, which I'm telling you, like, let's just say, I'm not exaggerating, if I've installed 15 of those units, 10 of them have had the Modbus wiring being wrong. Like, it's just wrong. And so we've started catching it from the get-go. When we do a new install, the first thing we do is inspect the comm wiring for that, or the Modbus wiring, just to make sure that everything's correct. Why on earth they decided to run through the ignition boards for that? Like, come on, for real. They shouldn't do that, because then you set yourself up for communication issues, in my opinion. And I realize it's going to require more circuitry on the board and stuff. You should have an independent connection through each device to the board. You should not have daisy chained wiring or Modbus wiring running from the VFD through one ignition module, two ignition module, back up to the board. That's just silly. It really is. I'm sure there's someone out there that's going to say it's because of this, it's because of that, but like, and I'm all for new tech and all that stuff, but like, there's got to be better ways to do this where you don't run into this communication problem. But hey, you know what? I'm just the dumb mechanic who has to fix it. I'm not the smart genius engineer that made this system and designed it, because I'm sure in the office, it's perfection, right? Sitting at that desk, it's absolute perfection. Probably got an award, some accolades, maybe a gold Rolex watch for the amazing, you know, design that engineer did. But this, come on, like in the field, us techs, like, I really think, and don't get me wrong, I know there's some amazing engineers out there, but there's such a disconnect between manufacturing and service, when in reality, service should influence manufacturing wholeheartedly. Like, service technicians should have to sign off on what the engineers design before a manufacturer puts out a product. And I'm not talking a washed up tech who went, you know, did 2 years in the field and then they hired him and moved him up. I'm talking, you need to have a 20 to 30 year service tech that has worked on your equipment, that knows your equipment, working with the engineers. But I get it. Manufacturers, it's, you know, they don't want to do that. Whatever. It is what it is. I guess I'm still here to fix it. That's why, you know, everybody's afraid of AI and robotics taking over light commercial food service type settings. You know, robots, they're going to be fry flippers really soon, especially with California's crazy high minimum wages and stuff like that. There's a means to an end with these $20 an hour minimum wage, right? Because robots will soon be flipping the fries or flipping the burger, right? That kind of stuff. They'll be checking temperature. They'll be doing that. But I'm not afraid of robots replacing me. AI and robots, they might be, you know, making our job easier, streamlining things, but someone still has to say, hey, those communication lines are hooked up wrong. Or, hey, someone made a mistake here. Or, hey, this isn't a logical way to go about this procedure. You need to fix this. Do a firmware update. That's me. I'm the guy that still has to change the sensor, that still has to, you know, fix this. Now, I'm not saying that robotics and AI isn't going to streamline our jobs. It will, but we still got to fix everybody's mistakes. As long as humans are still designing, creating, manufacturing products, there's going to be human error, and we're still going to fix it. I do realize that automation's coming in, but someone has to program the automation. Like, you know, yeah, maybe in the future, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, our jobs might be at risk, but not anytime soon. I'm happy, I'm safe, I'm comfortable, and I get to fix the robots, right? So it is what it is. I really appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Thank you so very much. If you're interested in supporting this channel, you know, there's a couple different ways, but the easiest way to support this channel is literally just watch these videos from beginning to end. That really is the easiest way. But if you want to do so financially, you can go to PayPal, Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. Those are all different ways that you can choose to make one-time donations, monthly commitments, or whatever you choose. There's links in the show notes of this video on how to get to those 3 different platforms. You can also go to my website, hvacrvideos.com, where we have merchandise such as these hats available. Great way to help support the channel. You're supporting a small business. These hats are packaged, processed, and shipped from my home. My wife does all the merch deliveries and everything, and not deliveries, but merch packaging and processing and, you know, order fulfillment. She does all that. So it's a great way to help support us. You can go to hvacrvideos.com if you're interested in doing so. Last but not least, you can actually go over to truetechtools.com. You see any tools such as the SC480 field piece meter that I used in this video? I picked that up from truetechtools.com. The JobLink probes that I'm using, the field piece JobLink probes to profile everything, picked that up from truetechtools.com, or picked those up from truetechtools.com. I actually set up an affiliate program with them. So if you use my affiliate code, Big Picture, that's one word, no spaces, just Big Picture. If you use that affiliate code at checkout on majority of the items on their website, you get a discount, and then I get a small commission from that. So it's another great way to help support the channel. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Make sure you're staying cool and hydrated in this summer heat that we got going on. Be careful about the sugary drinks. Obviously, people need electrolytes and different things like that. Find some alternative sources to electrolytes that don't have a lot of sugar in them. Something to look into, okay? Of course, there's always going to be sugar in some of this stuff. I choose to drink raw coconut water, but you got to be careful. Talk to your doctor, stuff like that. But like, coconut water has great electrolytes. It's a great resource for me. It does really well. But coconut water is definitely an acquired taste, so do your math, look into it, but just make sure you take care of your body. The moment that you feel the signs of a heat stroke, it's too late. So don't let yourself get to that point. Make sure you're taking breaks. Make sure you're wearing a sun hat. I'm on the West Coast where it's really dry, so I wear long sleeve shirts all day long, to my own detriment, because now when I go outside with a short sleeve on, I instantly get sunburned. It used to be that I had a permanent farmer's tan, but I don't anymore. So, but take care of your body. Remember, no job is worth your life. You want to go home to your family at the end of the night. So keep up on yourself. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're eating, getting all the proper nutrients and everything. And I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to you, because I am the worst at eating lunch and stuff like that. I constantly have to like force myself to do it. So take care of yourself. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to catch you on the next one.